Hello everybody, and welcome to Sunday Morning Knits, my channel where I talk about all the things I am knitting, spinning, and designing lately. My name is Laura, and today I'm bringing you a very special episode. It is officially October, which means that it is Socktober, my favorite month of the year. If you've been following along for a while, you know how much I love knitting socks. Most of my designs are sock knits, so I thought it would be fun to give you a little bit of a tour of my sock collection. So I have been knitting socks for about 12 years now. You will have seen a clip at some point, I think, of what my sock collection looks like. And now that's not every sock I've ever knit, because I have knit a lot of socks as gifts for people, but those are all the ones that I've kept for myself. And I definitely don't have time to go through every single sock I've ever knit with you today, but I thought I would show you some of my favorites and some of the really special ones in my collection. I had a lot of fun going through all of these socks and picking out ones that were really special and ones that meant a lot to me, and so I'm very excited to share them with you. Before we get started, I thought I would share what I'm wearing. I am wearing my absolute favorite sweatshirt. This is from Black Pearl Magic, and I know you can't really see it, but it says Merino and Shetland and Romney and Corriedale and Cormo and Rambouillet, which are all sheep breeds. I get so many compliments whenever I wear this sweatshirt. Highly recommend. Black Pearl Magic is amazing. Go get yourself a sweatshirt. They're absolutely fantastic. Okay, let's jump in with some socks. So the first category of socks that I thought I would talk about is oldest. Now, I started knitting socks so long ago that I actually don't remember which pair is my oldest. I know that I knit both of these on vacation when I was 12, and when we went on vacation, we were in Oregon. Both of these yarns came from Coastal Yarns, which is a yarn store in Oregon, obviously. And I still have the needles that I used to knit them with. I knit all of my worsted weight socks with those needles to this day. But I cannot remember which one I knit first. I think it was these ones. We made many trips to that yarn store. During that trip, Mom was knitting a shawl, and I knit these so fast, and then Mom needed like an extra skein or something to finish her shawl. I have no idea. I can't remember. But we made many trips to that store. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it was these ones that were my first pair of socks. But I definitely knit these at this, like, around the same time. So I'm honestly, to this day, still so impressed with how these socks turned out. So like, I did a whole heel flap and gusset and a heel turn. I have like a ribbed cuff. I didn't do a very stretchy cast on because I actually didn't know any other cast ons than like the one my mom had taught me at the time. So it's not exactly stretchy. I don't wear these socks very often. They are actually quite pilled. You can see a lot of pilling along the heel and stuff like that. So I have historically worn these quite a bit. But now I'm more in just like preservation mode, because they're so special to me. I remember wearing the crap out of them on vacation, which was lovely, and then afterwards. But yeah, to this day, I'm still so impressed with how they turned out. They're 100% wool. Both of these are 100% wool. There's no nylon or anything in them to keep them from like wearing out too fast. And obviously I didn't like know a ton about durability and stuff like that. I was 12. You actually can see though that I have worn these socks out quite a bit, because I have a little patch on the bottom from where I darned the sock, which I think is really cool. I guess I had some of this yarn left over because I darned it in the same yarn, and the patch is actually pretty good. Like I've definitely done worse patches than this, so I don't actually remember when I darned it. But yeah, I love these socks so much. I still have the pattern. Mom actually found it last Christmas and sent me a picture, and she's like, look what I found in my knitting collection, which was so cute. It was like a one-page pattern that we bought at the store. When I told my mom that I wanted to knit socks, she was like, I don't know if I can help you, honey. I have no idea how to do that. And I was like, that's okay, I'll figure it out. Because 12-year-old me was not afraid of anything, apparently. I hadn't like done a ton of knitting when I decided I wanted to knit socks. So I learned how to knit really young. I was like probably like 5 or 6 when I learned how to knit. I have no recollection of learning how to knit. Like, that's how young I was. Maybe even slightly younger. Maybe I was like 4. Obviously nothing, I didn't create anything good. I just learned like the basic stitches. And then I had this like knitting book for kids when I was like, I don't know, I was probably about 8 when someone gave it to me. And it had a whole bunch of really cute patterns, like a little felted purse and stuff like that. And one of the things in it was this little toy monster. And when I was about 11, my uncles had kids. So all of a sudden I had a whole bunch of baby cousins, and I knit my baby cousins these like little tiny monster toys. They were like this big. Hilariously, one of my cousins still has it. I was FaceTiming with my uncle a couple years ago, and she like pulled it out, and I was like, A, can't believe you still have that. B, can't believe that thing is still intact. Like, I made it when I was 11. That was wild. And then I have a cousin who's my age, and she saw the little monster toys for the baby cousins, and she was like, oh, I want one, but I want it to be gigantic. And I was like, I got you. So at the age of 11, I altered my first knitting pattern, which, like, looking back is just insane to me. I can't believe I did this, but I made it 4 or 5 times bigger, and made her like a gigantic version of this like little monster toy. Anyway, so that's all I had really done prior to knitting socks. And then I was like, I'm knitting socks. I'm doing this. I didn't know at the time how to like look up YouTube tutorials or anything like that. I don't think I was allowed on YouTube at that point. I don't even know if there would have been YouTube tutorials. Luckily the heel turn instructions were really clear on the pattern, so I was able to figure that out pretty easily. And then like I already knew how to do decreases and stuff, so the toes weren't hard or anything like that. You can see though that I didn't Kitchener stitch the toes together. I just pulled all the stitches through and like made like a little loop, kind of like you do at the top of mittens. So that's not something I'd probably do ever again, because your toes poke out and I don't like that. But yeah, anyway, that's the story of my very first pair of socks. I finished these so quickly, so we went back and got more yarn, and I knit these ones. Yeah, these were a lot of fun. I had so much of this yarn. I actually think I made my dad a matching pair, but I think I made the matching pair like 7 or 8 years later. So I had so much of this yarn left. And I definitely didn't use it up all on vacation. This yarn is so thick and heavy and drapey. I really love it. I haven't seen self-striping yarn at like a worsted weight ever since. Like, I've only seen self-striping yarn done at fingering weights since then. So this was kind of a little bit of a unicorn, which was really cool. Yeah, so those are my first 2 pairs of socks. Now, my third pair of socks was accidentally felted in the washing machine. So I unfortunately don't have those ones anymore, but that's okay. It happens. Okay, the next category I want to talk about is just random socks that I love in my collection. These are all very special for different reasons, so I'm going to go through each one. So the first is these guys. This is the Darling Socks by, I don't remember, so I'm going to pop it on screen. But they have this really cute picot edge, but that's not why I love these ones. I love these socks for the yarn. I got this yarn, I think 3 years ago at my local yarn store. Oh, they're kind of dirty, sorry about that. I wear my socks for the most part. So a lot of them are going to be dirty. Anyway. I got this yarn at my local yarn store, Yarn Twisters, which has since closed, which is very sad. But I got it one Christmas. My mom and I went to the yarn store, And this is Lichen and Lace in the colorway Beetroot. And to this day, this is my favorite colorway I have ever seen. I think it's just absolutely stunning. Now I'm not going to show you it up close because these socks are actually really, really dirty. And I don't think you want to see up close how dirty these socks are. But this is their sock base fingering weight, and I so deeply adored this color, and I didn't stop talking about how much I loved it. So the next year, my mom, my parents, and my grandma teamed up and they bought me a sweater's quantity of this yarn in worsted weight, and I'm working on that sweater right now. Hopefully it'll be done in time for Christmas because I casted it on like a year and a half ago and I need to finish it. But I'm very excited to have a sweater and some matching socks. I think that's gonna be so, so cute. Ugh, I just love these socks. I love the colorway, it's so beautiful. Yeah, big fan. Okay, the next ones that I have sitting in front of me are very special for one particular reason. And that particular reason is that this is the very first time I ever did Colorwork socks. So these are I don't recall. I'll put the name on the screen again, but I can tell you that these ones are by Wei Chin Chan, the petite knitter, formerly the petite knitter, now Sasky & Co. I have test knit quite a few pairs of socks for her. I think this was the first, and my first time doing Colorwork in socks. I remember actually taking photos of these as the finished object, because it was fall, and the photo that I have, you see like my socks and I'm wearing like Birkenstocks, and then there's like beautiful golden leaves. Actually, you know what? Maybe I can pop in the photo. I love these. These are beautiful and they were so much fun to knit. I love Wei Chin's patterns. I think they're stunning. I've made a whole bunch, not just the ones that I've test knit, but like I made her Sasky sweater too, which I'll be wearing in my next podcast episode because I realized I haven't worn that on the podcast yet. I mean, it partially wasn't cold enough. I finished it when I was in LA, and it's Peruvian wool, and there was no way I was wearing a Peruvian wool sweater in Los Angeles. But I'm back in Canada now where it's freezing. I mean, not yet. It's actually still very warm where I live. It'll be cold enough soon to wear my Sasky sweater is my point. And I'll wear it on a podcast. I love her patterns. They're beautiful. They're well written. I don't love the yarn that I chose for this. It's Knit Picks palette, and I picked it because I had a lot of palette yarn. But I learned very quickly after knitting quite a few socks in Knit Picks palette that it does not hold up well for socks. I do not recommend that yarn for socks. And I mean, I should have known that. It is a fingering weight yarn. It's a very light twist, so it's very airy. And it's just, that's not what you want in sock yarn. You want like a thick twist, like a heavy duty twist kind of thing. It's just not what you want in sock yarn, but I had to learn that. And I did. I also don't wear these very often. I think the only time I ever wore them was for the photos, because I did not realize how tight I knit Colorwork, and they are almost too small to fit on my legs. There's no stretch. Well, okay, there's like a tiny bit of stretch now that I'm pulling at them, but there's like almost no stretch, and especially like where the Colorwork ends, it's pretty tight. They like barely fit on my feet. So these just sit in my collection and remind me of my time doing Colorwork. I have actually had this issue with every Colorwork sock I've ever knit. I have never ever managed to make Colorwork socks that fit. But I've made quite a few Colorwork sweaters now. I have like 2 on my needles, and I have finished several. And I think I have some techniques now, namely going up like 3 or 4 needle sizes. Also, I switched how I do 2-color Colorwork, so instead of doing both English style, I do 1 color English and 1 color continental, and that has really helped loosen up my Colorwork tension as well. Maybe I should try that for socks. I'm part of Summer Lee's Colorwork Cuff Club. I did it last year and I'm doing it this year. I've never knit any of the Colorwork socks though, because I'm terrified of Colorwork, but they're so pretty. I think I need to give them another shot. I've just talked myself into casting on a new pair of socks, I think. I have 3 socks. 4. 4 pairs of socks on needles right now. Maybe I should finish one of those before before I cast on my Colorwork socks. But I will at some point. Okay, moving on. My next socks are these ones. This is a pattern that I designed myself. I called this the iris sock. So you can see there's this really cute stripe at the toe and at the cuff, or kind of just below the cuff. And I love these socks, not just the pattern, like I love the pattern, but I also love the sock set. I held on to this sock set for so long. This colorway is Stardust. Stardust is the main color, and then Mermaid is the contrast color, and this is from Sunday Fibre Co. out of BC. I adore Sunday Fibre Co. I think Elise is just so talented and makes such beautiful yarn. I ended up actually ordering this colorway last year when she did her archives collection. I ordered an entire sweater's quantity of Stardust, and I'm currently working through that at the moment. That sweater has been on hold for a while, but that's fine. The funny thing about these socks is I knit like 2 completely different sizes. I realize you can't see because I'm holding the smaller one closer to me, but for some reason I just knit like 2 wildly different sized socks. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I think I put these in like one of my very early podcast episodes, and I called them like chaos socks or something like that, because like, oh boy, these are very, yikes. 2 completely different sizes, but I really like the pattern. But I put a little poll on my Instagram to see if anyone would like the pattern, if anyone was interested in testing, and nobody liked it. Which is fine. I'm fully aware that not everything I design is going to be other people's favorite things, but yeah. So if you're interested in this pattern, let me know in the comments. Maybe I will write this up and release it. I think I still have photos of these when they're like nice and pretty and not like super worn, because you can see I've actually worn them quite a bit. They're like heelless felting and that kind of thing. Yeah, I love this one because of the colors. If Elise ever brings this colorway back, I'm gonna order like 10 sock sets of Stardust and Mermaid because I love it so much. So beautiful. Okay, I need to put part of my hair up because it is getting very warm and I'm getting very overstimulated. Ugh. I also have a lot of hair, like a lot of hair. I was listening to Breathing Yarn, Isabella, and she was quoting Laura Penrose about the overstimulation bun, and I'm like, wow, I deeply relate to the overstimulation bun. Okay. Next pair of socks. Oh, these are so cute. I have never worn these. I finished them last year and I have never worn them, but these are my baseball socks. Ta-da. So I'm a huge baseball fan, which is hilarious if you know me, because I have never ever been into like sports like that. Ever. I mean, like growing up we used to like watch baseball games. Like I've gone to a few baseball games and they're fun to like watch, but I never like watched it on TV or anything like that. My dad was a huge baseball fan. And I would watch like the occasional hockey game. I've been to a few hockey games. I'm Canadian, you have to. I am a deep supporter of my hometown team. And because I'm from Alberta, there are 2 teams and we're like bitter rivals. Deep supporter. Anyway, my boyfriend is a huge baseball fan, and when we started dating, he like slowly got me into baseball. And I was deeply inspired by Emily Curtis of Gently Chaotic Knits, who did something very similar, where every time her team won, she would do a stripe in the color of that team, and every time they lost throughout the year, she did a stripe in white. So I have 2 teams that I love. One is the Toronto Blue Jays because I'm Canadian and I have to, and the other is the Philadelphia Phillies, and that's because my partner is a Phillies fan, and so he got me into like watching Phillies games, and now I just love them. So I did a sock in each of their team colors. So this one is the Phillies sock and this one is the Jays sock. Every time the Jays won a game, or the Phillies won a game, I did the stripe in the color, and every time they lost, I did a stripe in white. You can see one team had a much better season than the other. But these are so cute. I've never worn them because I think I made them a little bit too small, and like I don't like how they stretch. They look kind of weird when they stretch. I really want to do something again to commemorate this season. And I think I'm going to do a hat instead. And I think I'm going to do a Musselburgh hat because because the Musselburgh is reversible, I can do one side the Jays and one side the Phillies. And maybe I'll just do like a white brim in the middle. I don't know. I haven't decided that yet. I'm going to start that fairly soon because it's now playoffs and both my teams made it into the playoffs. The Jays actually won their division, which is amazing. I love that. I actually have no idea if the Phillies won their division. I know they're in the playoffs. I should know this. Doesn't matter. This is a knitting podcast. Anyway, I just thought this was a really cute way to commemorate the 2024 baseball season. Now, the one thing about these socks that I don't love is that you can see the jogs. I tried to do jogless stripes, but it just was not working for some reason. So the way that I actually did where the jog starts is so that you can put, I think I did it so that, oh, maybe not. I had wanted to do it so that if I was wearing them, the jogs would both be on the inside, but I'm looking at them now and that's totally not what happened. That's annoying. Oh well. So yeah, I think a Musselburgh hat is up next. But I actually have a Musselburgh hat on my needles, so I need to finish that first before I'm gonna let myself start the baseball hat. I had wanted to like do the hat this year, like every game I'd like add a stripe, and that's what I had intended with the socks too, but that's not really what happened. I ended up like once a week adding stripes to the socks, like after all the games had been played, because there's so much baseball, you cannot watch all of it. Like my partner and I watched a lot of baseball, especially last year. We haven't watched as much this year, but like, oh my god, there's so much baseball, you can't watch it all. So yeah, those are my baseball socks. I did afterthought heels, or I guess I did forethought heels, where I knew exactly how many rows I wanted for my foot. And there's like a certain number of games each season, with the exception of like playoffs. But I had one team that made it into the playoffs last year and one that didn't. So the Phillies made it into the playoffs and the Jays did not. Or the Jays maybe only had like, maybe the Jays did, but they got kicked out in like week 2 or something. Oh yeah, they totally did. And you can tell because I went into the toe for the playoff game. So you can actually see where the decreases start on both of them, and that there are stripes that go into the decreases, and those are the playoff games. I think next time I might demarcate the playoff games by like a yellow stripe or something. Be like, this is where the regular season ended and playoffs started. I don't know. Haven't decided. I will come to that when the time comes when I'm doing my hat. But I was heavily inspired by Emily Curtis and thought that hers were so cute that I had to do my own. So those are my baseball socks. Next up. These ones are really funny. Okay. Ta-da! These are tube socks. This was my very first time knitting with self-fading yarn. And very specifically, this yarn comes in 2 separate 50-gram skeins that are the same fade so that you can knit tube socks with them. This yarn is by Shirley Brianne, who I believe is Canadian. I think so. And she does a lot of these kinds of yarn, these kinds of skeins. She has lots of different fades like this that come in 2 50-gram skeins. And I actually pulled the tube sock pattern straight off of her Instagram. She has like a very basic pattern like saved to her stories. And I very specifically bought this yarn because this was the first one that I came across by her, and I loved it so much. I don't wear these very often, obviously, because they're tube socks, and I prefer like slightly more anatomical socks, but I really love them. I really love how the fade turned out. I think it's just so pretty. I love the combination of like the pinks and the speckles and then like the brown toe. I love them. I'd love to do this again and do like a heel flap and gusset. I'd maybe do the heel flap in like a different color so as not to interrupt the fade. I don't know. But yeah, this is the first time I ever came across self-fading yarn, and it was so much fun. I loved it. Oh, gotta blow my nose again. Okay, I have one more pair in this collection, and these are recently finished objects for me. I think I've showed these on the podcast, and I just posted them on Instagram October 1st to celebrate Socktober. I was hoping this video was going to come out on October 1st, but I didn't get around to filming it, so it's probably coming out after that. It's October 2nd, in case you're curious. No, today is October 1st. Today is October 1st. I am filming this on October 1st. We'll see when it comes out. But anyway, tangent. These are the Scrappy Quilt Socks by Tiny Human Knits. I saw these on Instagram and immediately fell in love. I think this is one of the most beautiful color palettes I've ever seen put together, ever. And I was so happy to snag some of this yarn in one of her updates this year. And I finished these a couple of weeks ago. Because I design sock patterns, all of my designs, I don't wear them in case I ever have to photograph them again, or if I go to like a show and I want to bring samples, I don't wear them because I want them to look nice and pretty. So I don't have a ton of socks on my needles that I can actually wear anymore. And so this was the first pair in a very long time that I have knit specifically for the purpose of me wearing them. Now it's been too warm to wear them. I finished these, I think, while I was still in LA, but like right before I moved back home. And it's still a little bit too hot here to wear hand knit socks, but it's rapidly cooling down, which is what we want. I love being cold. And I'm so excited to wear these. I love these so much. I want to buy full skeins of this from Laura of Tiny Human Knits. Her name is also Laura. And make like a sweater out of it. Because I just think this is the most beautiful palette ever. I did a little 3x1 rib too on it, which I don't normally do, but I absolutely love. I think I want to design like 3x1 rib socks. I think that'd be really cute. But I just adore this colorway so much. Look how stunningly beautiful these are. I think the next time Laura does another release of these, I might pick up another sock set because I love them so much. They're so beautiful. Oh, I have 2 more categories and then we'll be done. But this next category that I'm going to show you, I'm so proud of. This makes up a good chunk of my sock collection, and that is these boys. These are socks from not every sock set. I'm getting there. I have 3 left. But 9 of the sock sets from Coley of Paisley Knits Book Club Yarn Club from 2024. I got every single month of the Book Club Yarn Club, and I am almost done making a pair of socks with every colorway. Like I said, I have 3 left. 2 of them are casted on, and I'm just almost there. So many things to knit, not enough time. But these are the other 9. I'll include some like videos of all of them together. But I'm going to very quickly go through all of them together, all of them with you. So this is January's. You can see they've actually started already wearing these because I love them. This is January's. This is A Court of Mist and Fury, which is a book series that I adore. No, is that the first one? Oh, it was A Court of Thorns and Roses is the first one. I have A Court of Mist and Fury written down as this inspo, but I think it was actually A Court of Thorns and Roses. So this was January of 2024. And then, oh, all of these patterns, all of the plain, every sock actually, I designed the pattern for. Most of them are just like kind of plain socks. But if there's one that I like designed a specific pattern for, I'll tell you. This is the next month, so this is February. This is Percy Jackson. This is just a very plain sock pattern that I created. I'm gonna check to see if you are still filming. Cool. My viewfinder isn't working anymore, so had to check that. Okay. Next up is March. This is red, white, and royal blue. And now I only have one of these. Like I said, when I design patterns, I often only make one sock for the pattern because I just get distracted and bored. But this is one of my samples of the Cassandra socks, which is a pattern that I designed for a collaboration with Paisley Knits for her Taylor Swift sock set, or Taylor Swift collection. The first one? Yeah, the first one, I think. And so this was one of the samples that I made. This is, like I said, the colorway red, white, and royal blue, which, by the way, is one of my all-time favorite books. I can quote whole passages from that book, if not the entire thing, because I love it so much. Okay, April is Normal People, which I think... I am second guessing myself. I think this is April. I could be wrong. Maybe this is Malibu Rising. Oh no. Okay, wait. Maybe I think this is Normal People. So this was just another plain sock that I did. This one is a bit of a shorter leg than like my Percy Jackson ones do. I've worn these a little bit so you can see that they're a little bit worn in, and I love this one. I just love the greens. Coley is a master of like greens and purples. They're just, oh, magical. After Normal People was Song of Achilles, which is May. I'm going to show you this one. This was a pattern that I designed in collaboration with her. It is so beautiful. So we have like a leaf lace going down the front, and then there's cables going down the back. This was inspired, of course, by Madeline Miller's Song of Achilles, which is my all-time favorite book. I love that book so much. So when Coley asked me if I wanted to design a sock pattern for the book club collection, I was like, yes, I do. And it's going to be Song of Achilles related. So I do have two of these. I actually just finished this one like 2 weeks ago, which is hilarious because this pattern came out like early this year. As you can see, it's not really blocked. It's kind of like all scrunched up. Whoops. That's fine. I finished the second one because I actually do want two of all of Coley's year of socks. Book socks. So I still need to get on that for two of them. Anyway, June was Beach Read. This is Beach Read, which I think might be my favorite colorway of them all. I think it might be. I just love the pinks and the blues. Look how stunning that is. This one was fun. Again, this is just a very basic pattern that I created on the fly. But I did a tubular cast on, which was not something I normally do. I don't know if I like how it turned out, but I need to wear these some to see if I like a tubular cast on for my socks. I usually like a slightly tighter cast on, so you usually do like German twisted or something like that, but I don't know, I still like how it turned out. I think. We'll see. Okay. July's colorway. Maybe, I think this might be July's colorway. This, I think, is the 7-year slip, and you'll see that these ones are different, and that is because these are also a pattern that I designed. I did this, this was another one for the book club launch with Coley, so I designed 2 patterns for her. These are the Patroclus socks. They are DK weight, so it's actually using fingering weight held double, and you'll notice that this cable pattern along the front is the same cable pattern that goes down the back of the Achilles socks. Because, you know, lovers. So I decided to do like a little echo between the 2 pairs of socks. I really love these ones. These are the very first DK weight, and actually the only DK weight socks I've ever designed a pattern in. And I love them. I think they're very cozy. I'm a big fan of like thick socks, so I think I need to do more DK weight patterns. I think that's the conclusion here. I love these ones. Okay, August was the 7-year slip, and these were my August socks. These are, I decided to do something just like fun and funky. I actually worked on these during Flock of last year. I have some really cute pictures of me knitting these socks in Seattle. This was so far out of my color comfort zone. It was wild. As you can see, I haven't worn them, but I haven't worn most of these because at the end of the year, or when I'm done all the socks, I want to take a photo of them all together in their like nice pristine state, and then I'm gonna wear the crap out of all of them, except for the ones that I designed. So like the Achilles and the Patroclus socks I won't, and then the December sock set, which I haven't showed yet, but it's coming. I also designed a pattern for, so I won't be wearing those ones either, but that's okay. Yeah, these were a 7-year slip. I have not read this book, and I want to. It sounds very good. Coley has amazing taste in books, and we like so many of the same ones, so I'm definitely gonna read it. These were fun because I did like a little stripe of lemon across the toe, which was really cute. I really liked it, and I really like the rib across the top of the foot. I think it's very sporty. It'll stay on my feet very nicely, and I'm excited to wear them. I think they're gonna be such a cute little pop of color under my like very neutral dresses. It's gonna be so cute. Also, I have clear rain boots, and I'm so excited to wear those this fall and like wear all of my cute socks in them. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, the September colorway is Sharks. The book Sharks? I can't remember. Don't know if that's true. October is The Martian and November is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Those are the 3 that I haven't done yet. I have both the September colorway and the November colorways on my needles at the moment. I'm almost done the first one for the November, and then I have just the cuffs casted on for the September. Those are coming. I'm not done them yet. But the December colorway was Migrations, and for that one, I used this sock set to design my EOS socks. These socks go with my EOS pullover that I released earlier this year, which was a pattern for the Tea Cozy Yarn Shop. And I just love these socks. I think they're so, so cool. I love this like lattice cable. I think it's so pretty and delicate. And one of my favorite things about this sock is the point that the pattern comes to along the toe. I think that's so lovely and so pretty. I don't know how well you can see that, but maybe I'll like pop some photos in. That's not something I've ever done on a sock pattern before. And I just love the way it turned out. I only have one. I think I actually have the second one casted on somewhere, and I just haven't made it yet because I just haven't got around to it. Usually when I'm designing, I have to do it fast. Well, I don't have to. If I'm doing a collab, I might have to do it kind of fast. And I usually have an idea of like what my designs are going to be for the year. So I have like a timeline, and I don't necessarily have time to knit the second sock. Or I don't want to because I want to move on to the next design. So that's why I only have one. But I really do love this sock, and the December colorway is so, so beautiful. And those are all of the socks from my Paisley Knits collection. I have another sock set like calendar. This year I got Sunday Fibre Co's sock calendar, which is all Beatles inspired. So look forward to seeing that next year. I'm gonna hopefully do the same thing where I knit every single one into a pair of socks, and I'm very excited about that because they're beautiful and they're very different from Coley's. So I'm super excited about that. I have one final section of this video that I want to share with you. These are socks that I have been given by friends. Now, as somebody who knits socks and is very well known for knitting people's socks, it's very rare that someone knits me socks. So when somebody does that, it's so unbelievably special. And I have 3 pairs of socks that I'm going to show you today. My dear friend Jordan has knit me 2 pairs of socks. I love both of these so much. I'm not going to show you them very close because they're kind of gross. I wear them all the time. When I was in Los Angeles, I had to go to the emergency room at one point. And I was very stressed because the doctor basically told me, like, you have to go to emergency now, and then didn't tell me why. But I knew why because so basically one of my pupils had dilated and was like stuck and wasn't like contracting or reacting to light. And I know what that can mean. The doctor didn't tell me what it could mean, just looked at me and said, you have to go to emergency immediately. And obviously knowing what that means, I was like freaking out. I was also home alone at the time and it was like late. I was freaking out. And so I reached for these socks to bring me a little bit of comfort in the emergency room, and they did. And it was so lovely to just have a piece of a friend with me because I was there alone for a while. My partner was at work, and it was very stressful. So these brought so much comfort to me, and it was very hot. I should not have been wearing wool socks, but I needed a like piece of comfort. I was fine. Nothing scary happened in the end. It was, oh my god, nothing scary happened. I was fine. I was discharged several hours later. It was fine. She has also knit me these beautiful ones as well that I'm not going to show you because they're also kind of gross. Okay, and the other one was knit by one of my dear friends as well. This was a birthday gift. Birthday or Christmas? I can't remember. It was a gift. Yeah. And they are these absolutely stunning Colorwork socks. Now, this friend of mine and I did our undergraduate degrees together. We were roommates. We did our undergrads together. We are both trained classicists. So like ancient Greece and ancient Rome. And sometimes we like to give each other extremely nerdy gifts. And she is also a fiber artist, just like me. She loves to sew. She loves to knit. She loves to do everything. She's an incredible artist. She does not watch these videos, so I can gush about how much I love her and not embarrass her. She is an incredible, incredible artist. And she, for this pair of socks, hunted down a pattern of the oldest known sock as we conceptualize a sock today ever discovered, I believe. They were found in Egypt. And she recreated the sock, partially using a pattern, partially not, because I guess the pattern was a little bit different from what the socks actually looked like. So she used the pattern for part of it and then free-handed based on the images that we have of this sock to make me these. I have never worn these, and I don't think I ever will. I actually just want to put them in a shadow box because this is so, so precious to me. She has a matching pair. Apparently she made a pair and they were so big, they were so small that she couldn't get them on her feet, and she was like, you're never going to be able to get these on your feet. And so she made me these ones. So she also has a pair. Her floats are like perfect. Like, look at that. Unbelievable. But they are too precious for me to put on. And I think I'm just going to put them in a shadow box. Because just incredible. I love them so much. So yeah, it's very special when friends make me socks. I deeply treasure them. So that is everything I wanted to share with you today. Those are the highlights of my sock collection. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions about any of the socks I've ever made, anything like that, please let me know down in the comments. If you've made it this far in the video, I deeply appreciate it. Thank you so much. You are the best. I hope that you have an absolutely wonderful Socktober. Let me know what you plan on knitting for Socktober down in the comments. I'm going to try to finish off the 4 pairs of socks that I have on my needles. One of which has been on my needles since before flock last year when I went. I really need to finish that one. Yeah, those are my plans. And thank you so much. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and happy knitting. Bye!